Hi, Joe Glavin with City Floor Supply, and we're here to welcome American Sanders. We have, this is Nailer Day, so all of our vendors have a table, and if you're not familiar with Nailer Day, we have 3 panels set up, and you can come down and nail up. Everyone has to follow the NWFA rules and guidelines for installation of 2 1/4 red oak. So Acer was kind enough to donate the skid and 18 square feet. We have times on the floor. Awesome. Let's get back to American Sanders. I have Mike Farrell from American Sanders with me, and what really caught my eye was the Easy E that they have out now. And Mike, I'm going to let you take it away.
Okay, Joe, so this is a relaunch of a product that we had about 4 or 5 years ago. It is an Easy E under radiator sander.
And what was the former one?
The former one was the Super E.
The Super E, right.
Super E, and that was gray. We've changed the color and the ease of use for this machine. We've also made it dust contained. We've added a new dust elbow on the back, which is flexible.
Looks almost like the B2 and the 7Rs.
7R, yep. Absolutely, for dust containment. We've redesigned the wheels so that you can allow the wheels to go up and down pretty freely. You're just going to loosen this little washer here, and you can twist, okay, if you need to, and then lock her right down in place.
That's great.
Another feature of this machine is we've actually added dual wheels. So when you're sanding underneath a radiator, you're not getting resistance like you would with just a single wheel, right? It works in unison to pull it back off
like
the
that,
line.
Non-marking gray.
Absolutely, yeah. We have gone to a flex steel pad. Instead of the hard rubber, we've gone with a flex steel pad that you can either use a Velcro or a bolt-on piece of edger paper, whatever edger paper you're using. So you don't have to buy a second type of paper just to do under radiators.
The same size paper?
Same size paper as an edger. We have also added, we redesigned the extension. So if we needed to take this apart, we would simply remove these 2 screws here, and it's full bolts. Simply pop that plate off, and you can put this one right back in place, and you're ready to go.
So that's great, because you have the dust shield here. You pop that off, pop off these bolts, add that one, and it already has the dust shield on it, so we still get dust pickup. That's
awesome. Okay, and again, you don't have to change papers, right? You're just using regular edger paper. Okay, excellent.
So we have this LED light.
LED light
comes standard.
It does come standard. Used to be that you'd use a light, and if you hit the radiator or whatever, something metal, it would automatically make a filament light just pop.
Yeah, you pop it.
This one right here, it's 2, 3 years, 4 years before you're replacing the light, and it's much, much easier to see.
That's got to make people happy.
Excellent.
So, and just for, nuts and bolts stuff, it looks like it's still 4 brushes.
4 brushes.
4 brushes, a standard edger switch. Take off the vent caps, change the brushes.
You're back in business.
Back in business.
Yep.
Awesome.
Sure.
All right. So let's talk about let's talk about this power unit.
Okay. So this is the new PowerLab 120. What it is designed to do is give you a steady electrical source in the house for the Epic, for the edger, for the vacuum. A lot of problems that happen in houses is there's not enough electricity. 15 amp circuit versus 20.
Yep.
This is a guaranteed 20. Okay, it has a trip right here or a trip right there, breaker, so that if for whatever reason you've got too many machines on the circuit, it'll trip that. Okay, you have a digital readout. It'll tell you exactly what the machine is running at that you plugged into the box. And it's a steady, reliable source. So if you don't have a 20 amp in a certain room and you're 40 feet away from the closest 20 amp and you need to get closer, you plug this in to a 20 amp and then you plug in your machine into this.
Okay, excellent. Very cool. And then the old reliable Hydro Sand here.
Hydro Sand, the #1 seller of anything in our business, the Hydro Sand. It has obviously the 6 disc, fairly heavy, right? It gives a lot of pressure down on the floor. It reduces the scratch pattern, so it's almost invisible by the time you're done sanding. This plate will go in a circle, and then these other discs will circle while the plate is circled.
Right. So in here, this is like a standard clutch, so it'll work on various buffers that run that clutch.
Buffer.
Yep.
We have an adapter if there's a buffer that's a little more unique. We have an adapter that actually will extend it out. What's also unique to this is it has an isolator ring right here, okay? This will allow you to, if you had a slight roll in the floor or what have you, it'll almost go over the roll.
Right.
Without losing control of the buffer.
Yeah, so it's almost like a shock absorber.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or a suspension or
absolutely.
something like that. Right.
Shout out to Dylan Siddle. He says City Floor is the best.
City Floor is
Thank you.
awesome. City
Appreciate
Floor is
that.
awesome.
So,
What else do you want? You want to talk about the Epic?
Yeah, let's talk
go
about
over
the
here
Epic.
and talk about the Epic.
hey, sorry for all the noise, but this is the nailer competition, and they're nailing in the background. So hopefully you can hear through it.
Okay, this is our newest machine in the buffer line. Basically, this Epic is a 2-speed buffer. It has a weight system to it, so you can take the weights off, and you can use this just as a regular buffer. Okay, 175 and 300 RPMs. You're going to use your 175 for intercoat abrasion, okay, no weights, right? But when we get done with the floor, after we're done sanding and we want to blend the edges into the middle of the floor, we're going to grab a Hydro Sand, put it on the bottom of this machine, and apply the weights, and that will take out any edge marks, take out any chatter, take out any drum marks, take out any imperfections in the floor, and flatten that floor, and take all of those rings and make them flat with the rest of the floor, so that when you apply your finish, it just looks like a sheet of glass.
So when we have the weights on, what speed do you recommend?
It depends upon what we're going to be doing, but we want to put it on high speed when we're going to sand, our final sanding before we vacuum and tack and apply finish. Okay? We're going to put our weights on. The softer the floor, the less amount of weight you want. Okay, so I could put on just one, or I could put on all 4. It's 7.5 pound weights, okay? So when I put all 4 on, I'm adding 30 pounds of pressure to the machine.
Okay.
And that will give us a much flatter floor.
Excellent.
Okay? It's dust contained, okay, which is important because of the environment that we're in. Nobody wants to be breathing in any dust.
Right.
We also have a light so that you can see, and you can put the light anywhere you want. You can see at night or when it gets a little darker in the fall.
And if you're working in a new construction home that's not,
absolutely.
you can eat in those twilight hours.
The wheels are a little further apart to add for stability because of the weight of the machine, okay? And they're rounded, so that if you needed to angle the machine as you're bringing it up or down a flight of stairs, it'll accommodate for that rather than a sharp edge.
Excellent.
Joe Montalvo wants to know, when do you use low speed?
You would use low speed in between coats. If you're going to do an intercoat abrasion, you're going to use low speed.
Like your regular 175 RPM buffer.
Right.
Cool. Michael?
Joseph, thanks for
you,
your
sir.
time.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us. We
bet.
appreciate it.
Thanks for coming. And then we're gonna head over to see Rubio. So if you'll follow me. Really good lunch if you're in the area. Come down. Good job. All right. Alan.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm good. So
we are, Alan has booth set up in front of his sample display and his aisle of Rubio. I don't know if you see that, but there's a whole aisle of Rubio down there. Alan was kind enough to come talk to the contractors that are showing up at Nailer Day about his product. So, latest and greatest, and
Latest and greatest, we're going to be introducing a new product in WFA. It's called Renew. Now, what Renew is just like, to refresh the floor, to restore, the color.
Okay.
If there's any scratches, it's going to hide the scratches. Also, there's no lap lines. The product comes in a bottle like this one's a liter.
Okay.
And the cover is about 1,000 square feet on 1 liter to do a refresh, to renew it. So that's the name of the product, Renew. So we're going to introduce an NWFA.
Okay.
But just going back to the our base, the oil plus LCs are main product.
Right.
Comes in 55 different colors. Those are all the colors it comes from.
Yep.
55 colors. If there's not enough colors, you can mix them. So if the blue is too blue, you can add the pure, so you can kind of mix the colors.
Absolutely.
So 55 colors. 0 VOC. Our product has no VOC. It's 0. Very easy to maintain, easy to repair. The way the product works, how we can get everything done in one coat is because the product bonds to the wood through a molecular bond.
Right.
So if there's raw wood, the product's going to bond to it in a couple minutes, and then you just wipe off the excess. So that's how the product works.
And
so,
no second coat.
no second coat, no lap lines.
Right.
So 0 VOC, 55 colors.
Yeah, and I've worked with it. There's great open time, for you to get across the room or back out of a difficult room, maybe a kitchen that's got island in it. So it's definitely a product that's easy to use. They also have pre-treatments. So if your customer wants something that's in that cerusing kind of effect, that's the new buzzword.
Yeah, so that's the pre-color easy, and it comes in a liter. That's the pre-color easy. Those are the colors.
Yep.
They can use them underneath our oil. So if you do want to do like a really, really black floor, so you can do like the intense black and then put the black oil or the charcoal on top, you're gonna have a really black floor.
Right.
Or if you want to do cerusing, like you said, you can do like a brown and then put a white oil on
put a
top.
white oil on
so you can
top.
have like the
And
two-tone
then
kind
that
of
green
look.
pops.
Yeah.
And they actually have a pre-color easy color wheel. It's probably hard to see with the lighting.
Yeah,
But
and
that,
this.
if it shows you what oil looks like over top of the pre-color. So, but definitely experiment with it. It's a neat look. And then the fumed.
Yeah, the fume is a reactive stain. So what it does, it reacts to the tannic acid in the wood, and then it changes the color of the wood naturally. The fume, it turns like white oak into like a grayish color, like a drift kind of wood.
Right.
And then you have to put a finish on top. So a really cool look. So you can do like gray and then put the white on top, so it gives the whitewash kind of look to its own. So it's really cool
it's
product.
definitely, and that's when you say the tannic acid. So we're looking to use something like that on white oak. It would probably work.
It works on red
red
oak also. It just depends on the level of tannic acid the wood
so
has.
it needs
Some guys
the
even
tannic.
use on walnut.
Right.
Yeah. It just depends if the wood has tannic acid.
Yeah,
so.
and I'm sure any kind of photosensitive resins like cherry and that kind of thing, it would probably react with. But excellent.
Yeah, you guys have awesome videos online of the demos that we've done. So
we do.
if you have any questions, if you want to know more about the product, how it's applied, there are great YouTube videos on your website.
Yeah, if you go to YouTube, City Floor's YouTube channel, you can pick all those up. Good stuff, man.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks for coming.
Hold up. So Joe Montalvo has another question
Yep.
here. He's saying, he says, I used it and had flash marks like a skip when you water pop throughout the floor. Joe, if you're able to comment, just let us know exactly which product you're talking about.
So he's probably talking about the Oil Plus C. Yes, you can water pop the floor and use our product. That's not a problem.
Right.
It's just going to reduce the spread rate. So you can get about 500 to 600 square feet on this with 120 grit, with no popping. When you pop the floors, of course, they open in the grain. It's going to be a lot more absorbent. So you're going to get about 300 to 400 square feet.
And a lot of that is the actual popping.
Right. Because you open the grain so much.
That evenness of, I always tell people to water pop floors like they're staining. Like you want to be that careful. A handprint could show up, a foot mark,
Anything can show
something.
up, all the spots.
Depends on the buffer that's knocking it down as well. So you want to really handle water popping. I use a microfiber mop, but if you saturate the floor, you're better off. But when you saturate a floor to water pop it, you've got to wait next day at least.
Yeah, you wait until it's 100% dry.
Right.
A lot of guys ask, how do I know? Use a moisture meter.
Use the moisture meter. That's
So,
it.
but the marks that he's talking about is probably coming from the water, from
Right.
the water popping maybe, or maybe from when he's buffing the oil. So you have to make sure you buff it really even,
Right.
and also taking off the excess is the most important, part of our product.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that, because getting the excess off is key.
Is the most important. So as far as the application, we do have a brochure that talks the application, but the most important thing is working sections. So we work in 100 square feet section. You're going to apply the oil, and then you're going to buff off the excess. It's very important that you buff off the excess. Run your finger, it's going to have to be dry to touch. You do not leave any excess off. And then the third step is putting a terry towel underneath
Right.
and wiping off the excess one more time, kind of like polishing, assuring that you're getting all the excess off.
And I always recommend, even when the project is done, is kind of going in and backing out, just to make sure you get all that off, because having that excess on the surface is where you can have issues.
Right. That's it.
How can he fix it? If
It
it's
depends.
already-
Yeah, so it's already done. If it was done within 24 hours, you can just put a little more oil down and then buff on the oil with a red pad. It's going to reactivate the oil, and then you can just buff off the excess. If
'Cause
it's
it's
over
still green.
Yeah, it's still not cured.
He says he water pops every floor with a hydro plate.
Yeah, how he water pops, there's so many ways of water popping a floor. I water pop with the pump sprayer.
Right.
And then I use a T-bar to even it out. So there's many ways to water pop a floor. But if it's been over 24 hours, he can maroon pad it, to lightly abrade the floor, and then reapply the oil. That usually fixes the problem. All right.
Excellent.
All right. Thanks
All
so
right,
much,
man.
guys.
Thanks, Alan. Appreciate it.
No problem.
And we're going to head over and talk to Norton Abrasives, and they're where they should be. They're down their aisle with their abrasives. So we have Jeremy from Norton here, and Norton has a couple new products that are, for us, I think are great. Particularly some of the new abrasives that they have. They've added to their color line. So why don't you take over?
So, Norton is known to be a very large company that has its own grain division. So in other words, we sell the grain on the front end of this to other manufacturers. So we're known to be able to put 100% all the same size grain in our paper, and what that translates into is the cleanest scratch pattern in the industry. Now, this is made with silicon carbide, and that stands up like a shark tooth, and those shark teeth dig deep, and that leaves buffer marks. So when we introduced Red Heat 13 years ago, I'd say, people noticed that this leaves no buffer marks because it's a much cleaner scratch pattern, because it micro fractures and it doesn't have the same height that digs deep into the wood. So then we have our sand dollars, which is also the cleanest scratch pattern in the industry. This is for water base, this is for oil, the red one, and this is for raw wood. You could use this as a final step to clean up any elastic.
I know a lot of guys use this on raw wood.
Yeah, like if you want a trio dining room table type of effect and you don't have a trio, you can actually hit it with an 80 grit red heat water pop, 80 grit red heat screen, 80 grit red heat screen, 120 red heat screen, sand dollar, blue sand dollar, then water pop. You're gonna have an amazing look.
Nice.
Next, I'd like to come along. So we have our edge of this. This is an edge of this with the hole. We also our fastest growing segment is the hook and loop paper. So we all know that as 8-inch trio paper. Trio guys will not use anything but red because this is the cleanest scratch pattern in the market, and trio guys know what they're doing. They know what to look for. This is a 7-inch that you could convert your edger to a hook and loop and just rip the discs as you use them. This is a 6-inch for your power drive. What's the other?
The hydro sand is a 5. Right?
Yeah, so it's a power drive and what's that Lagler edger?
The one single. No, the flip.
The flip edger. Like on the specs, it says 5 and
Elon.
7/8. Yeah, Elon. So the specs on the flip says 5 and 7/8, but a lot of guys use 6-inch. And the 5-inch sells like hotcakes. It's for your Bona multi-disc or your American Sanders Hydrosign. Cleanest scratch pattern in the market. You just can't get a better scratch. Blaze, we introduced Blaze. So this is zirconia. We invented zirconia back in the 70s. We upgraded every 7 to 8 years or so. Went from Norzon Plus, Blue Fire. Red Heat came out. This is a ceramic. This microfractures. This is the cleanest scratch in the market, bar none. Then we came out with Blaze. This is an SG ceramic. This is a Delta ceramic, which was a lot more aggressive and lasted a very long time. And then we rolled it out very quickly into discs. So this is a cyclonic multi-disc Blaze disc. Excellent for your random orbital sanding, but also your multi-disc sanding. If you were to give square footages on belts, after a lot of job sites and a lot of feedback from contractors, this Blue Fire gets an average about 1,000 square feet. This gets an average about 15 to 2,500 square feet. This gets 3 to 5,000 square feet. So you can actually just say, all right, if I have a 1,100 or 1,200 square foot job, do I want to change 2 belts or do I want to do it all in one shot? Do I have a 3,000 square foot job? Do I want to use 1 belt or 3 or 2? So good rule of thumb.
Excellent. Talk about this and pre-finished floors with aluminum oxide finishes.
So we came out with Blaze for 3 reasons. Gym floors, large areas, and pre-finish. Pre-finish is a very, very difficult sanding job. Everyone knows it's a problem situation. Manufacturers like us used to say, bust up the top with an 80 grit premium belt, and that works about a third of the time because there's such a variety in pre-finished manufacturing and hardnesses. So we came up with Blaze, which is a very aggressive ceramic grain, and we came up with a technique that has not failed me once so far, and that is you take a 36 grit Blaze belt on your pre-finished job, decrease your drum pressure to medium, walk quickly and powder the whole floor. Once it's powdered, if this belt is still cutting, go to town and grind it down. But you need that first powdering on most pre-finished jobs. Not all, some of them are not that good quality. You can get 1,100 square doing pre-finish, but that's a really good rule of thumb. If you're going to do one size fits all sanding, then I would say do that technique for your pre-finish. It'll work very, very well.
Excellent. So if you're in the area, come on down. You can talk to Jeremy in person. You can have a great lunch, and you can compete with people in your industry. Nail up 18 square feet. Fastest winner or fastest time that wins is $500 cash. So all good. So fun time. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
That's like, thank
all right, we should take a walk over and just look at the competition area, just so that people can see it. All right, so this is the competition area, really just because it's the largest aisle in the building. We have 3 12 by 16 panels. Each bundle, like this right here, is 18 square feet, which equates to 96 lineal feet. So every competitor has to nail up 6 full rows. They can't stair step it, and while doing that, they also have to abide by the NWFA installation rules for 2 1/4, and this just happens to be Red Oak Select from Acer, kind enough to donate the pallet. And by the end of the day, we'll probably be into the second pallet. We have about 60 competitors signed up, and then here's our competition board. So these are contestants that already went in the pro division. We do have a team division, so somebody can rack out and then nail up, and that also gets a fastest time and a prize. And the amateur division, any of the vendors that are here displaying and want to walk out from behind their table and take a bundle and nail it up, they could win. So they also get a prize at the end of the day for their fastest time. And then we have our on deck. So Mike and I are running the competition. We have the counters. So the rules are, 4 inches on the headers, no gaps. Those are all penalty times, so 10 seconds. There is a minimum of 140 cleats, and that works out to about an 8-inch nailing pattern, which is what NWFA says for 2 1/4 installation. So this is our rules. It's on a poster. Everyone gets a copy of this. You can see the 10-second penalties. So the times that you see on the board are with or without penalties. Just depends. This box in red right now is currently the fastest time. So it'll be interesting to see as these get erased, as the times drop throughout the day. 5:37 right now is the fastest time. So that's it. That's the competition. Looks like we have some contestants that are getting ready to prep and nail up. And you are allowed to go more than once. Some of the guys that are really, really fast, if they weren't happy with their time, we do let them go a second time. We do limit how many times you can go. If you're kind of out of the mix for being a winner, we ask you to wait. But yeah, so this is it. This is Nailer Day. And you can go on YouTube and see previous videos of the day's event. But everyone's welcome. It's really just a fun day, and it's a day that, like, all the professionals that come here can show how good they are at what they do, and they're proud of their craft. All right, so we got Mike's ready for the timer. Break the bundle, the timer starts. And they're racking out, so they're going to rack out and nail up as one of the other rules is 12 inches on the overhang. We do not have saws here. There is no cutting. Speed and cutting are no-no. So we do limit the overhang to 12 inches. So they just had to remove that board because it was too long. You just saw Jason counting the boards for rows. One of the rules is 6 full rows.
Hey, go ahead and go. Keep going. Keep going. Go. One more. Alright, keep going.
How's the
See how long that is? I mean, that Acer product is so long. There's only one 18-inch short board in there. So they're struggling with the end. But that's it. You can bring that up.
Alright, no, that's it.
You're allowed to bring your own nailer. You'll see some of these guys have extended handles and extended channels, so they don't have to reload. And that's usually the kind of nailer that wins it. The guy that's stopping and putting the new clip in of staples or cleats are just slowing up. So you can see Mike has a clicker, and that's actually a pitch counter we use. And he's clicking the amount of cleats that are being fired into wood.
how's the
Watch
time?
the air. You got air on there.
How do the times compare, a team versus individual?
Usually
Are
the team is faster.
they twice as fast, or even
It just
more?
depends. It
or-
really depends on how well they work together. You'll see a lot of the commercial guys work together. They rack out a full gym floor, and they have somebody nailing up. They're just good. So it really does depend on how well they work together. If there is a problem with the nailer, we do stop the clock so that we can repair the nailer or give them another one. So the clock will start now. And so you can see we do have resurface when it gets filled up. We do put Aquabar bead down, so it's just like it would be at a job site. Nice work. Nice job.
We got through with the long work.
Some days, right? Some days, yeah. Pull this one out.
Yeah, and then he nails. So then we, you see, we prepped it for an even spot. There's probably one more contestant can nail on that section.
Hey guys, I need your.
So now they'll go over to the board. Mike will put their time up and see where they rank in the team division.
There was no penalty. It was 311. Good job, guys.
So that's pretty much it. You know, you've seen everything that we have with regard to the competition, all of our vendors. Everyone's eating right now, so things are going to get a little quiet. So again, if you're in the area, feel free to come down. For sure, check this out on Instagram and Facebook, and also on YouTube. This will get downloaded to YouTube, and you will see the winner, and it'll get uploaded very shortly. So it's a lot of fun to watch the winner. So make sure you check out that YouTube channel for the 2019 winner of the fastest nailer competition. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.